PTF and JK back with you. Breeders' Cup win, and you're in action at Del Mar this weekend. The Clement Hirsch Stakes. This is an exciting race. It's interesting. We've got some East versus West competition going on. JK, there's a key question here. If I should have pre-interviewed you so I knew how to set up this segment better. You know what? So that's what we're going to do is we're not going to start with the favorite, and then at the end we'll give our opinions. Let's start with a filly who was all the rage last year and, hasn't quite had the same success this year, but pretty mischievous last year, won a bunch of really important races, including the Kentucky Oaks, the Acorn, and the Test. This was your 3-year-old filly champion. She's back in action here. Do you think we could see a return to form from her?
That's pretty cool, right? Oaks, Acorn, and Test. Pretty special. I think she's had excuses in her last 2 starts. However, she's never really run that fast. So now I'm basically just hoping that she's going to eventually kind of turn it around and turn into that kind of upper echelon type that we always thought she was. Huge fan of Brendan Walsh. I guess it's at least a little bit interesting that Tyler Gaffalione decided to stick over here and hang out with us on Saturday. But I think that if you had to come up with an alternative, a horse that presents some upside, a horse that might jump up for you here, I think that she's one of 2 horses that you could take a look at to try to beat the big favorite.
Let's talk about another, not the favorite horse, but one who's interesting. Scylla has turned heads this year, and this horse is the sibling of one of the most social media horses in history, and one that we spent an awful lot of time talking about on the podcast in Tacitus. Mom Close Hatches was something pretty special as well. Where do you stand with Scylla? I know you were, and remind me, were you a pro Tacitus or anti-Tacitus guy during his racing days? This one brings a 3-race win streak to here. Can she make it 4 on the bounce?
Yeah, I was pro Tacitus, and I want you to anyone who ever tells you when you're sitting having a conversation and someone says that race mares don't end up being good moms. Close Hatches was an unbelievable race mare. And look at these siblings. You got Scylla. You've got Batten Down, who ran in the Jim Dandy the other day. You had Tacitus. So she's obviously figured out how to pass through that running. I think she's good. I think she's talented. I think she's the alternative. The problem is that she's got to get a lot faster for a horse that's going to be the second choice in here.
Now we'll get to the key question in this year's Clement Hirsch. But first, I'm going to put out an appeal for folks watching to subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. It's super easy. It's right there. Click that button. Click that notification bell. You won't miss any of our YouTube exclusive content. And if you want more of our act, inthemoneypodcast.com is another place that you can go. You can also check out our free newsletter, inthemoneypodcast.com/email. We've got written free stuff daily to help you find winners across the USA. We do our pods. We do loads of YouTube videos. And it's been so great to meet so many people from the YouTube space. You're in a different category, JK. I mean, I don't mean to make your hat size any bigger than it already is, but with the whole Fox thing, you walk around and everybody knows you're from Fox, and it's too much fame. I'm sure it's actually annoying that people think they can come up and touch you and whatnot. But for me, it's been really interesting this last year. They come up now, and 7 out of the 10 who come up say, love the YouTube channel, not necessarily love the podcast. It's cool. It shows that something we're doing is working. Anyway, join the party, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
It's always fun when people say hello. I don't, that's not it's just some of the ways they choose to do it are the interesting ones. Okay. So one of them is the grab, like you mentioned. Hey, come here.
I've seen that, and I would punch somebody in the face. You're remarkably restrained.
And my favorite one that happened today, people like to walk by and say, hey, man, I've seen you on TV before.
No.
Yeah. I always say, yeah, I've been on TV before. I don't know what to say. What do you say? Thanks? Do you say thanks to that?
Right. You need to say you do it. They're missing when they don't say. It's one of those things where it's what they don't say. When they don't say, and you do a great job, it's almost like, and I've thrown my shoe when you picked one too many favorites. It's implied or something. Yeah. Speaking of favorites, let's get this train back on the tracks here and talk about are the big story of the Clement L. Hirsch on this Saturday card at Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf. Are we with ADARE Manor or against?
Yeah, I just think she's going to be too tough. I mean, look, she's no superstar. She's very, very good. No superstar. So I'd love to try to find some sort of opportunity to play against her in here. But these horses just aren't fast enough. She's got a tactical edge. It's a home game for her. She's won at Del Mar previously. I just think she's going to be too tough in here. And so I think from a multi-race standpoint, I'll be looking at this as a free square and trying to move on. I think some of the other two horses like that we talked about, Scylla and Pretty Mischievous, are alternatives if you have some other situation you're trying to take advantage of. But, man, I don't see spending too much money trying to beat ADARE Manor.
I understand, and she'll be on tickets. I'll technically pick Pretty Mischievous in this spot. I'm just hoping you're right. The recent runs aren't as bad as they look, kind of against the flow. They know they're going to have to be aggressive here. I like the recent works, JK, showing a bit more speed. Maybe that means they're going to try to make this a race. Maybe they can tackle and crack ADARE Manor. She probably wins, but I'm going to pick Pretty Mischievous, and I'll have both of them on my tickets. Love Scylla, but I think maybe just because of the way this race flows, the third is the ceiling. I don't know, maybe a penny, maybe a one backup line type of a deal with her. If Pretty Mischievous really goes and takes the race to ADARE Manor, maybe it can set up. But my gut is, I'm just going to call it 8-2-3, and we'll see where the chips lie in the Clement Hirsch. Once again, subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel for a lot more horse racing content.